What's going on? This is your man, John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show. And of course, when you see my man Jeremiah, we're going around the sports world as we end up doing the sports rundown for the week as we go over the topics in the sports world. Let's start off at the top because even though it's already happened, but we got to still talk about it. NCAA tournament finals, men's and women's. We saw UCLA beat the brakes off of South Carolina, and I think a lot of that was because one, you saw them focus on Lauren Betts a lot and not pay attention to their outside shooters, which is what doomed them in that game. But I also think that it was also the Gino Auriemma versus Dawn Staley thing kind of made them not focus when the championship game came around. So that happened, and Michigan takes down UConn in a game that, again, Michigan's bigs, we said that it was just too much. What's your thoughts on both games?
The games, man, I think for UCLA, I think they defense, it's not like South Carolina's a big offensive juggernaut team.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever their defense, they implement their defense, man, it looks, everything for South Carolina look hard.
Yeah.
Like everything look hard. I was like, man, it's going to be a long game for them because it looks hard right now unless they can make some type of mid-game adjustment. But sometimes, you know, they always say styles make fights.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looked like to me. It looked like, you know, it was just a bad matchup for them. You know what I mean? But when you go to the what was it, UConn and
Michigan?
Yeah, Michigan. You know what? UConn men's and women's team is always floating around the NCAA championship. They always floating somewhere around in the Final Four. They had one year where they won, both men's and women won the team that won the championship game. That was years ago. But for the men's game with Michigan. You give K Cadeau, not K, I want to say K Elliot Cadeau. I'll give him his credit. Even though I still think he's the same player he was in North Carolina. I don't see any difference between his game.
Right. Yeah, it's no change.
His 3-point percentage went up about three percentages. You know what I mean? I think it went from 34 to 37 or something like that. But he got at the Final Four outstanding, almost outstanding player. He had his best game in the national championship game. He scored like 16 points. Right. But hey, this is what strategy I would implement. I would let him shoot and see if he's really changed. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then if he drained a couple of shots, you know what I'm saying, get back on him. But then you can't allow him to play that game if you're UConn, because if he's in and out, he's a good he's a good passer of the ball. He makes good decisions with the ball since his freshman year. All we're going to his junior year.
Well, what UConn also made the mistake at. We'll go back and I'll give my piece on the South Carolina game. But what UConn didn't do was one, force their bigs into fouls against Reed, against Terrace Reed. Like that would have been big because I don't think their bigs couldn't really defend him. And if they would have let him basically handle the paint and basically take advantage of them, I think that Connecticut would have had a better way of winning that game. They also did a very poor job in trying to get Mullins open for a 3-point shot. You know, because everything Michigan was doing, they were making sure that they pressed the issue with him each and every time. So it ended up in a situation where they really were behind the mark when it came to what they were supposed to do in that game. And the game was close until the second half.
That's
After the
true.
second half, that's when the game just went out. They went up about 10, then they went up 19, and at that
Right.
point it was over. The game was like completely over, and there was no way that they were going to come back. But I do feel that the strategy that Danny Hurley put in was the wrong strategy. It was
Right.
definitely 100% the wrong strategy. As far as South Carolina, like I said, they focused on Lauren Betts. They focused
Yeah.
on Lauren Betts too much in that game, and they didn't pay attention to UCLA shooters at all. And in the process, UCLA came out on top with Lauren Betts not even having a solid or good game. And again,
Right.
I do feel that the Geno Don confrontation really it really had them not focused. And I wonder how much Geno really did know that that was going to be the case and why he did that at the end of the game, because even his apology was kind of like a trash apology. So,
It was.
um,
It was. I think he came out and said probably a couple of days ago. He spoke to what's the name on the phone?
Don Staley,
John
yeah,
Staley. Yeah, yeah. I think he finally came out, but that he should do that from the get go.
right,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
From out the gate, but he didn't. So
And with that, with the coming from the tournament, we now go into the NBA and WNBA upcoming drafts. We got 3 games left in the NBA.
yeah,
The
we do.
NBA's draft is late in like June. WNBA, their joint is about to happen.
About to happen.
Their joint is about to happen,
Yep.
and they're talking about a lot of the players that's in this upcoming draft. I'm gonna start with the NBA draft. So the talks now are about AJ DeBonza possibly not coming out of school.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
everybody is focused on so much stuff. But the thing about it is that if the Utah Jazz win that #1 overall pick, I think DeBonza comes out. If they
Yeah.
don't, I think
Oh, yeah.
DeBonza
True.
stays in.
Yeah.
What's your thought? And then with the WNBA, they got a loaded draft. Both
They do.
drafts
I
have
love
a
it.
loaded draft.
They do. Yeah.
Girls side and men's side. These is probably the most loaded we've seen in a long time when it's come
Yeah.
to the men's side and the women's side. What's your thoughts on both drafts, especially with the crowded fields that they have? And I have something about what happened after that, but what's your thoughts on the fact that you got both these drafts that's happening and how crowded they are with the amount of players in it? A lot amount of good players in it.
For the men's side, it's kind of I wouldn't say shocking, but just with the whole one and done, since one and done has happened, you know what I mean. You rarely get to that draft where you get this many players in there, because they're a lot of them are underdeveloped. But most of these guys in top five, that's going to be were the guy for their team. You know what I'm saying? They
Hmm.
they were the guy for the team. You got Cam Boozer, you got Caleb Wilson, you got you already mentioned AJ. If he decides to stay, I mean, if he
Hmm.
if he doesn't decide to stay and go in the WNBA draft, but you made a good point about that. If Utah Jazz get the #1 overall pick, he's going. He's
Right.
leaving. He's
Right.
leaving, no doubt, because he ain't got to move. He's already BYU, so you know what I
Exactly.
mean. And then you got the girls. You got Lauren. You got Betson. What's the old girl from TCU? Olivia Miles.
Olivia
Yeah,
Miles. Yeah.
yeah. You live in Miles. You live in Miles. These. Well, I should say women. And these women at this point, they are developed. Like at this point, they are developed.
Yeah.
They have played like 4 years out of college. You got to think about that's the thing I like about WNBA. A lot of those girls, they're not trying to jump from
Hmm.
college to WNBA too
Or
soon.
high school
Mainly,
from to the
right.
WNBA.
Because of the money. Because of the money.
Right.
Now they just starting to get raises where, you know what I'm saying? We'll talk about that. But you know what I'm saying? They start to get raises and things like that.
Right.
So, but I like that because you get to see them make their name all through college, and then you get to see how they are in the NBA. You know what I mean? I mean the
Right.
WNBA. So I like that. I need to see the draft order for the men's once that comes out. But for the women's, it is I looked at it. The Dallas Wings was hurting last year. They only won like 7, 8 games, I believe.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I'm saying?
they're. I mean, I was surprised that they got the #1 overall pick this year.
Yeah.
I was for certain that one of the expansion teams would get it,
Right.
because normally that's what we're used to. But
Yep.
yeah, I was surprised. And then not only that, there's a lot of girls that's on there. It's one fam, the Spanish girl.
Uh huh.
Yo, looking at film of her, I was because I saw her in the world. I think it was the world championships, or was the Olympics, one of the two, where
Right.
she was like balling. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, okay. Like,
Yeah.
what do we got here? So I love her game. Like, she looks amazing. But again, my girl is Olivia Miles. She's a dog. She's a
Yeah.
dog. And I really do like the way she plays. So yeah, the both drafts are loaded, and I think this is going to be good. We will be getting the WNBA draft first. It's coming soon. It's coming fast. So be on the lookout for that. Let's go to the next topic, man. Michael Malone
Getting hand clapped.
introduced as the new UNC coach.
Yeah.
We got to talk about this. What's your thoughts? Because I got something to say about Hubie Brown, but I mean
Yeah.
Hubie Davis.
Davis. Yeah.
But I'm gonna let you go ahead and what's your thoughts on this hiring?
All right, for one, this came out of left field. I had no clue that it was going to happen. Like it just all of a sudden they said, "Hey,
You
Mike
wasn't
Malone's out."
expecting a professional coach.
No, I wouldn't unless it came from a buddy from Chicago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Someone that's already been in college. You won't think of Mike Malone. I won't think of anything like that. None of
Hmm.
that. But the thing is, they talk about the good and bad thing about Mike Malone. The good things he knows how to coach. The
Hmm.
bad things, I think it weighs on the players. You know what I'm saying? His type of coach style kind of weighs on the players. They're still talking about the
Right.
Denver Nuggets. But the difference is this college.
Exactly.
A lot of these guys are gone. A lot of these guys are gone. You know what I'm saying? After 40. So by the time the message get, oh, you got a whole new set of students.
You got a whole new set of
New
group. You
set.
got a whole group, a whole different
You got
group.
you got a whole group. So with that being said, I like the hire. But we'll see. And things he's been making some good assistant coaches and getting the staff right.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I don't know how much they paying the staff, but clearly money ain't an issue. So they plug in top notch assistant coaches or head coach and put them on staff. You know what I
I
mean?
mean,
So
I'm with you, man. I mean, this was a smart move. It was.
yeah,
I mean, at some point, like I'm over the coaching carousel at this point. You know,
yeah,
I mean, we've had enough.
yeah,
And I mean, to snag a championship winning coach,
yep,
that was big. And not only that, you're talking about you bring that NBA coaching style to the ranks, which is
yep,
something you needed. And on top of that, he can recruit with that on his resume. Yo, I won an NBA championship. I was coaching Jokic. I was coaching Jamal Murray. I mean
yep,
Jamal Murray. I
yep.
was coaching them,
Yeah,
and
Marcus Morris too. Yep,
this is what it is. You know, so if you want to be in the NBA, this is what you got to, this is what you're going to
yep.
expect in the NBA. I love this hire. I was glad that they moved on from Hubie Davis. I'm gonna tell y'all I'm gonna tell you when he first was hired and he did that when he did that whole thing about I want to also say that I'm a black man who's proud to be married to a white woman. And I was like, don't nobody give a damn about your wife, bruh. Like, is she on the coaching staff or something?
Right.
Like, and when
Yeah.
he did that, I was like, he not gonna work out because especially when nobody asked you that.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody asked him that. Nobody asked him anything. He just came out and said it. And it was like,
Yeah.
bro, like, tell us the strategy you got for getting this team back to where it was.
Right.
Like, we don't care about your wife. We don't care
Mhm.
about her. Like,
Yep.
we care about what you're going to do to get UNC back on track. And to me, I just felt he was a disaster from the onset. And I mean, think about all the guys that transfer out of UNC
Yeah, a
during his
lot of people.
time as coach. I
I
mean,
mean, it was true.
just from the moment he came in, he lost
Yep.
basically the entire starting five. And
Yep.
then here you are now. Every time you turn around, you're losing the guy. You're losing the guy. You're losing the guy. You can't get nobody to stay. You know,
It,
so I was glad that he was gone.
yeah. 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 Makes sense.
So next we're gonna go into the next topic. Uh WNBA free agency and the max deal impact. The
Yeah.
max deal. Now, so what's going to happen is that in this WNBA, now a lot of women have already been offered contracts. I'm mad because I was hoping the Mystics would offer my girl Kelsey Mitchell a
Yeah.
contract, like give her the max deal because she's a baller, she's a scorer. And if we can rip her from Indiana, I would want to do that. But so far, the talk now is who's going to be the first $1 million WNBA player.
Yeah.
Right now, Aja Wilson hasn't signed her deal. They're talking about Brittany Griner might be getting ready to sign her deal. I don't know if she did already. I don't see nothing that's coming across about it, but
She with
uh,
Atlanta, right?
huh?
She's with Atlanta.
Brittany Griner,
Brittany.
I think she's trying to go back to Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
So but yeah, that's the big thing there. I mean, what's your thoughts on one, the max deal, the talking
Yeah.
about the first woman player, the first WNBA player to be the $1 million woman, and who do you really think it might be?
That's a good question. I didn't look at the contract, see who's up for contract right now. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Because that's what is really going to matter. But
So
I
so
know
just to give you some, Aja Wilson is one. That's
she's
Bam.
going to wait.
Yeah,
She's going to wait until like the
and she
last second.
should.
Yeah,
And she should.
I know she's up. She's going to be the last one to wait.
But
She's
but
going to be last because of MVPs.
yeah, the
Go ahead.
MVPs and the championships.
Yep. Yep. Who else you got that's up?
So you got two, which I think is going to be a problem because
Yeah.
they're both with the Liberty, the New York Liberty. That's
Oh,
Sabrina Ionescu and
yeah.
Brittany Stewart,
Br- Yep.
Brianna Stewart.
And Breonna Stewart.
Uh,
Yeah.
both of them are in New
Oh,
York. That's so. Do you give the money to the veteran star,
you got to
or
go
do you
younger.
give it to the rising star?
You
So
go the rising one because she had some really. The reason why I say that is because Sinescu she can shoot.
can't
She
shoot.
can shoot, but her ceiling, we already know what her ceiling is. And
Right.
the thing is, Olga, she played for up here in Seattle.
Hmm.
With she actually played with God dang Sue Bird.
Sue
She got a
Bird.
chance to play
Yeah.
Sue Bird her last year, in the league. So she's you know what I'm saying between a lot of different experiences that and they already won the chip. They already
Yeah.
won a championship. Your Liberty's already won a championship. So you want to sign with the younger player. That'd be me. Sign with the younger player.
Hmm.
'Cause at this point, I don't know what their salary cap looks like. You know what I'm saying? With
Well,
these new
it's
max deals.
seven. I think it's 7 million per team,
God
but
dang. So
the max
that leaves
deal,
you no room.
yeah, but the max deal is 1.4.
Yeah, that 1.4, that's pretty much set. If they sign both of them, that's like three. That's like three
Somebody
mil.
can't take a max.
Yeah, that's 3 mil. And
Yeah.
I don't think a signing trade, man. A signing trade. You know what I mean? Hey, think about it. Yeah.
So that's a big deal, man. I mean, like I'm with you. I think Aja should wait.
Yeah.
But if she do, I think she should sign maybe like a 2-year deal
Uh-huh.
and wait for year 3, where I'm
Right.
pretty sure the max deal is going to be about $3-4 million, and then she can take another max. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
in all honesty, she's one of the few players in there in the WNBA that's actually deserving more than what the max limit is. Like
100%.
like she to me is a $10 million
Yeah.
a year player because
Yeah.
she's been that good for the league. Not only that, she's been that good for the NBA as well because
Yeah.
Bam was playing
Bam.
well. Bam is playing very well, and
When she's courtside.
when she remember that 83, people
She
were talking about
yeah.
how they love that basketball couple.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that right there, that was a big deal for the NBA and the WNBA to see the two leagues basically combined through a relationship.
Yeah.
So, that right there is big. So, I think her impact is more valuable than what the max deal is. So, she's one that I'm feeling like if the WNBA could do it, it would be nice to sit up there and give her more money than $1.5 million.
Yeah.
Um, Next, we're going to go into Angel Reese being
Yeah.
traded from the Chicago Sky to the Atlanta Dream. We've already seen the impact here in Washington. Our general manager gets fired. Fired. Now,
Yeah.
uh, um, she was here. She had the
Yeah.
opportunity to draft Angel Reese and chose not to. Here,
Mm.
the Mystics are with 3 first-round picks. 4, 9, and 11.
Yeah.
And Angel Reese goes to Atlanta for 2 first-round picks.
Round picks.
And I think that the ownership was like, we had that. We had that available.
Right.
And not only that, she may be a Baltimore girl, but she's a hometown girl.
Yep.
Why would you not bring that star power
Yep.
here, knowing we're struggling with fans in the stands?
Yep.
We needed that. We need that her Caitlin Clark battle that's going to happen, and everybody's going to fill these stadiums. Why didn't you make that? What is your thoughts on the impact this Angel Reese trade is now a big deal when it comes to the WNBA?
Wow. Angel, it's one or two places I felt like her market value would go up.
Mm-hmm.
And you already mentioned both teams. It was the Dream and the Mystics.
Right.
Between those two, because for one, you got to think of it's more of the and she's going to get major support in both those cities.
Right.
It's made because a lot of the culture itself just around Atlanta, and then the culture DC, they call it Chocolate City, right? You know what I mean? So her going down
and
there,
her being an area girl,
right. You know what I mean? And thing is, she may not have a jump shot, but she may have a jump shot. But it's two things she can do well. She can play defense and
rebound.
She can rebound. She can rebound. That means multiple second chance opportunities. So that means your scoring is going to go up because you're getting more second chance opportunities, man. I would like to see her if Brittany Griner decided to stay in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying?
Well, like I said, we already talked about that. She's supposed to be going back to Phoenix.
That's what I'm saying, man. I was thinking the whole time they traded. I was like, they traded 2 first round picks, and they still got Brittany. I was like, the whole time, I was like, okay, now that people have a problem. You know, Angel Reese may weigh 165, 170,
right?
But she got the strength of Booger T, man. Because I'm trying to tell you, like now, I'm serious though, because they really can't move her off a spot like that. Watch her play. That's why you watch her get rebounds and do what she does.
Right, exactly. And I mean, she's potent, man. And I mean, that's like you said, can you dig it, sucker? Like she gets it done. She gets the game done. Not only that, because Washington has the outside shooters, that would have been perfect for them. Perfect. And I think that's part of the reason why the general manager was let go, because you had an opportunity. This is the second time you had an opportunity to get Angel Reese and you didn't. So I think that was what's going on. I think her impact is going to be big this upcoming season, and we still haven't seen her improve yet. She might have a jump shot this season.
She might. I got a question for you. Have you ever heard of a top 5 draft pick getting traded before they first contract's up?
Never. No. Oh, no. When you think of Sauce Gardner last year.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, true.
Sauce Gardner last year.
Yeah.
And we've seen other players in the NFL, not necessarily the NBA. We haven't seen it much in the NBA or the WNBA. Well, no. WNBA, they trade players a lot. Like I think most people don't know that, but they trade star players a lot. In fact, we traded away our girl, Aaliyah Edwards, who I felt was and that was another thing too. I think that's part of the reason why our general manager got fired too. She traded Aaliyah Edwards away too early. So she traded Aaliyah Edwards away, then had a second opportunity to get Angel Reese and didn't try. So I think that was the push that was like, everybody was like, nah, you know what, that's enough. Let's go to the next topic, because we could probably spend all day on that.
We could.
We're going to the NFL. Dexter Lawrence requests a trade, but we already know he's a free agent. He may not like the new scheme that John Harbaugh is actually coming up in with. What's your thoughts on Dexter Lawrence's request for the trade?
Hey, we'll see how that holds. When I hear requested for a trade during the offseason, I really don't. Pretty much, I don't put too much stock in it. Mainly until the camp starts, or mini camp, not OTAs, but mini camp starts. When mini camp starts, and then they don't show up. Now I'm like, okay, now we're talking about a problem. They get to you get to training camp, they don't show up. Okay, that's really a problem. That means they holding out. They are willing to miss game checks. They are willing to miss it. But if he's that serious, and he really wants to get traded, that's gonna affect the front line. Like that's I mean, this is all New York Jets really honestly had was their like I'm talking about like they defensive line.
Mhm.
That was their strength between I can't think of his name. You always call himself Spider. Oh my goodness.
You talking about Brian Burns?
Yeah, Brian Burns. Yeah, Brian Burns. He was a Carolina Panther for a while. You know what I'm saying? They got their line upset, which he had his biggest year in sacks. You know what I mean? So
But he had his biggest year the year before. Last year, I think he came away with 1 sack or 1.5 sacks. But even with that, he's still a massive anchor for that defensive line. He's
yeah,
an impact player. And I mean, it's not a lot of defensive lines in this upcoming draft defensive linemen in this defensive tackles in
tackles.
this
Yeah,
upcoming draft
there's
that
some big boys.
are, that can make the impact he makes. So that is a worrisome thing for the New York Giants. And I think that if Harbaugh doesn't get it right, he might be in a hell of a lot of issues, especially if all the teams feel the need to run the ball and they can't stop the run. That's
Right.
going to be a problem. Next, Fernando Mendoza's talk. People are starting to walk it back some. At first, it was like, yeah, he's this, he's that. You heard it here first from your man, John Fortune. I sat up here and told y'all he's not going to be great
Yep.
unless everything around him is great. Now all of a sudden, and I did my draft thing where I said if he is going to go somewhere, he should go somewhere where they got a proven veteran that's going to
Yep.
play ahead of him. Guess what the Raiders go do? They go get Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
And in the process of that, we're starting to hear more people talk about the fact that, yeah, Fernando Mendoza may not be a finished product. That's very important, especially when you're talking about the number 1 overall pick as a quarterback. We've seen most quarterbacks that have gone number 1 overall start year 1 or come in within year 1. I don't think he's playing year 1 at all because why? Kirk Cousins is going to do what Kirk Cousins does. He's going to have the team in contention, and they're going to not feel a need to sit up there and bring him into the game while Kirk
Yeah.
Cousins is playing well.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on everybody walking back all of a sudden? Now, all of a sudden, Fernando Mendoza isn't as great as people thought he was.
Hey, I would tell you for the people that's watching the show, don't listen to these analysis. Don't listen to them. It's easier to take the popular take. Hey, this person said X, Y, and Z about Fernando Mendoza. But as you gotta think about it, we had Mitchell Trubisky. They hyped him up, and he
Mm-hmm.
ended up getting drafted number 3. They said they weren't sure about Josh Allen.
Josh
Look what
Allen,
Josh
yeah.
Allen's become. You know what I'm saying?
Deshaun Watson. Look at how far. Look at how far he fell.
Right, right.
Lamar
So
Jackson.
yeah. So what I would say, hey, trust your eyes and leave it at that.
Mm,
Don't just look at 1 or 2 games. Go back and look at all his games and then see
right.
how it is. And then you get a good understanding on the timing, the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about like the actual game pressure, not necessarily pressure from the defense, but you getting a sense because people change up when the situations change. You know what I mean? And see what plays are being called. Or is the plays being called where the ball is going to be in his hand? You know what I'm saying? To pass the ball for
Right.
it makes a lot of difference. So I wouldn't be paying no attention to any of those guys, man. They mess up year in year out. They look at Patrick Mahomes, man. Look at Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in the NFL.
And not only that, he showcased that in college. The man had a 800-yard game.
Yes.
And
It's crazy.
I think he threw 6 touchdowns and had 2 rushing touchdowns. The man was elite in college.
Yeah.
And it was like when they were talking about Mitchell Trubisky, I was like, everybody. And this is, I don't like to do this, but to me, I feel that now the evaluators have done a thing where they're more focused on the race of the player and not necessarily the skill of the player. And that's where it starts to become a massive problem. But we're going to go to the next topic. Draymond Green has a hot take on tanking.
Yeah.
Now, for y'all who follow this channel, I'm the person that tells you tanking don't mean nothing. It really doesn't because the lottery is rigged.
Yeah.
And every time I say that, they put enough content out there to make it like tanking is the thing. Tanking does not matter, y'all. It really, really doesn't.
Nah.
But Draymond Green talked about it how it's not fair. We know teams are tanking, but if a player does something wrong, the fines are immediate and they're destructive.
Yep.
How fair is that? And should teams be fined more than what's currently happening? What's your thoughts on Draymond Green's take on the tanking issue?
Oh man, I think he's correct on that part, but you're correct about they're going to choose who they want to choose. Like Shaquille O'Neal made that statement some months ago about David Stern asking him, does he want to play in a hot weather city or a cold weather city?
And he
And
said hot.
he said hot and got drafted by Orlando.
Exactly.
Uh, oh man, but how about this? This is how it was in like 1980, early 1980. Uh, the teams that fell outside the playoffs, they all had an even chance of getting number one draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
They all had an even chance of getting the number one draft pick. It wasn't, and then like after 1985 is when they start instilling like the lottery, where they start doing the percentages. The team with the worst record. Now I would say go back to something like that, but it's impossible. It's impossible to stop tanking. When I say stop it, just because if there's a will, there's a way. Someone's going to figure out how to do it. They're going to figure out how to lose games, and you can't dress it up as we trying to win to lose, and they're going to
Right.
figure it out.
And that's the downside to it. Either way you look at it, I don't care what nobody say. Tanking doesn't work because they already give the teams the right now. I'll say this early. I'll say this on this channel. Expect the Utah Jazz to win the number one overall pick. They want the Bonza out of college.
Yeah,
And if it takes Utah getting the number one pick for him to come out of school, that's
yeah,
what it's going to take. And if they want him out of there, because again, he's one of the high profile players that's in the draft. And if he's saying he's willing to go back to school because he likes Utah, I
yeah,
think they're willing to let Utah get that number one overall pick and then sit up there and go from there. Again, you heard it here first. Remember, I've been able to accurately predict the teams who will win the number one overall picks. I'm telling y'all, Utah Jazz. Next, man, we're gonna talk about it's not actually, it's now down to
That's
3 games.
3 games. Three.
We
Yep.
down to 3 games left in the NBA. Teams are jockeying. Everybody looks like they're in the playoff tournament. Atlanta,
Yeah, Atlanta.
after the trade, makes the playoffs, cemented into the playoffs.
Yep.
What's your thoughts on the last few games left in the season?
I mean, it's crazy how that's changed. So it's down to 3 teams left. You got Orlando, Philly, and then Toronto still jockeying for position.
Mhm.
Toronto right now is at a 6 seed. The other 2 teams in the play in Charlotte after that lost to Boston and
Yeah,
Boston and uh, Detroit.
Detroit.
Detroit
Yeah.
last night. Hey, they're locked in the play in between.
Mhm.
They can go from 9th to 10th, but either way they're going to be battling on the bottom end of it. Oh man, but this NBA season, when's the last time you say the East from top to bottom, all the way to 10th,
It's
got a winning
strong.
record
It's strong.
or
Strong.
with the winning record? You see
Yeah,
that? You can't say that.
yeah, and it's been amazing. I mean, we're seeing some amazing basketball right now, and
Yep.
I mean, uh, contrary to what people say, I think the winner is going to be coming out of the East. I like Oklahoma City. I think that they're going to have a hard time, especially when we saw what Boston was able to do against them
Yep.
with Shea at the helm, and now you got Jason Tatum coming back playing strong. Like I said, he's doing his best impression of Scottie Pippen. He's looking great. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Next, we're going to talk about NBA Rookie of the Year. Now, if Canoopel had this wrapped up.
Rap.
Now all of a sudden, Cooper Flag has 2 games where I think he scored 45 or something like that.
Yeah.
And he just recently had, I think, a 33-point game or a 35-point game. Now there's talk about Cooper Flag getting back in the NBA Rookie of the Year chase. And it's like, wait a minute. Aren't we supposed to be praising and awarding consistency? So
Yeah.
what's your thoughts on the possibility that Canoopel can be screwed out of the Rookie of the Year like Melo was back when LeBron was in the league.
Man, you know how this goes, man. This a popularity contest at this point. They know Cooper Flag is the better player. I watched both of them at Duke. Overall better player because he doesn't have he don't have a weakness in the game. I
Right.
watch Cooper Flag, but Knipple has played and he was leading the league in threes. Matter of fact, he
Then
still may be
threes
leading the league in
made.
threes.
Yes.
Yeah, threes made. It's right now it's between him and LaMelo. They both on the same
Yeah.
team. The new Splash Brothers, by the way. But it's a popularity contest, man. That's all it is. They're trying to. Hopefully, they still get the Knipple, but they just trying to push this narrative here to get more people talking about Cooper Flag and stuff, preparing for next year. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah, and I just don't like it. This goes back to Josh Allen winning the MVP.
Yeah.
This goes back to the possibility of Drake May winning the MVP.
Oh yeah.
It's like it just seems like it's more people who don't know or don't watch the NBA to see how well Canupa was playing and the fact that he was consistent
Consistent. Yeah.
all year,
Yeah.
all year. Like there was nobody better than him. Like I said, it really does make me think of when LaMelo was screwed out. I mean, when Carmelo was screwed out of
Carmelo.
the
Yeah.
Rookie of the year LeBron James won it. So that's what it is. Now moving to LeBron James. This is our final topic, y'all. LeBron James talks about Memphis. He ended up coming back and correcting it, but I'm gonna say this: the NBA doesn't have many big cities when it comes to where they play at. A lot of their cities are small cities. And to be quite honest, there's a lot of cities that even I don't like. But when he said move Memphis to Nashville, Nashville ain't no better. Like if you've ever been to Nashville, the busiest thing on there is that Broadway. Broadway is the busiest street on there. Everything else around there closes at 6 o'clock. Everything closes at 6 o'clock. Broadway is the most active thing in all of Nashville. Not
Right.
only that, it's just it's not better than Memphis in the sense that there's nothing special about Nashville that makes
Yeah.
it a sports town. But what's your thoughts on LeBron talking about Memphis and what you think about this whole thing?
When LeBron say something like that, he got something working in the back scene. I
Mm,
don't know what it is, but it's something. It's something because it's been a topic NBA players have been saying for years. They all
mm,
say they hate playing in Memphis, they hate the hotel, that is and that. But it's actually some YouTuber. He goes around, he's visited to every basketball stadium that they have, and he decided to go to the Memphis, look at the hotel. To us, the hotel looks fine.
right,
But then again, I don't get paid millions of dollars a year to play basketball, so I don't know what their standard is.
right.
I don't know what their standard is. Man, but him saying to move to Nashville. I ain't never been to Nashville at all. I don't know. I feel like he has something up his sleeve. Like he wants to become an owner. He wants
Yeah,
to become an owner. He probably talks to people in Nashville. Some bidders. You know what I'm saying? And he may know something in the next 5-6 years. Maybe Tennessee, Memphis owner may sell the team. I don't know. It's something. It could be that deep, or it could be just him just talking. I don't
yeah.
know, but
Yeah,
go ahead.
and it is what it is. There's
Yeah,
small cities in the NBA, but
yeah,
we're
there is.
gonna wrap this up, y'all. I mean, we went down this whole list. Y'all tell us what y'all think in the comments below. Like, comment, and subscribe. Other than that, this has been your man John Fortune, along with my man Jeremiah Street, and this has been the Frustrated Fan Sports Show.